Mm. Hey y'all, welcome to the Devon A. Morris Unfiltered Call-In Show. Have a seat. Let's get ready. You have any questions? Come on, call in. Come on to that Discord channel. Do me a favor, get the unfiltered crew some finger snaps. We're ready to get started here. Mondays, 8 p.m. Every single Monday, we're here. I'm excited about it. Are you? Let's get this show started, y'all. The greatest Scrum show on earth. I'll see y'all soon. Enjoy. Okay, y'all, how y'all doing? I don't have my clapping with me, but I gotta say what's up. Let me bring this on over so you can see me. Just don't have all my tools. I'm on the road. So how you doing? Hopefully everybody's doing good. You know where you're at. My name is Devon Morris. I'm here to talk to you about agile, Scrum, entrepreneurship, all those wonderful and great things. You know how we do on this show. We probably talk for about 5 minutes about what's going on, and then we jump into the topic. And our topic of the day is going to be the hunt for non-agile, non-traditional Scrum roles and finding employment, right? So we're going to talk about this in particular. It definitely was somebody that was requested, that was in one of my classes, so I figured we'd go ahead and hit this and go from there. Now, just so you all know, next week we're not going to have the show. So on the 15th, there'll be no show. And then on the 22nd, there will be another show. And then on the 22nd, we're going to actually talk about something really unique, and that's going to be fusion teams, right? So that should be an interesting topic for some of you all, because some of you all never heard of fusion teams, but we're going to talk about that. Now, here's the deal. If you've never been around a show, this is what we do. We walk through a topic, and then we will go and we will answer questions. Whatever questions you may have, bring them to the table, think about them. We classically, talk about the topic about 5 minutes after, and then we go ahead and open up it usually take about 20 minutes to talk about a topic. And then after that, we go ahead and we dive into what's necessary for us to just kind of, get through the show, answer questions, and we'll see what we talk about today. So this should be an interesting one, at least one that I'm going to enjoy, and I hope you enjoy what we talk about. So get your questions ready, just in case you have some. You can drop them in the comments, or you're welcome to actually, come join the show. I even bought me some headphones here so I can make sure I can have that conversation with you. Now, before we do anything else, okay? What's going on this week for me? I'm actually traveling this week, right? So I'm in DC with I'm not even with my daughter. I just decided to work in DC so that I can bug her, right? The little youngest one, just bug her a little bit, right? Do me a favor, everybody that's here, throw something in the chat, right? Say hi. So I know who you are. Just say hi so that you're there, and we can just kind of take it and keep it moving. I see on the environments, we're live on LinkedIn, we're live on Facebook, so you're welcome to join us on YouTube, because that's where we do all the interacting at. Let's see. The question is, what's going on with you all this week, right? How have things been going for you, right? For me, I'm doing what I love to do. I'm out here training. I'm in the streets training, right? Full day classes. Don't do those a whole ton. But hey, I love what I do, right? You know what I'm thinking about? Let me tell you what I'm thinking about. I used to watch this show called Catfish, right? And they'd be in a hotel and they'd take all the pictures off the wall because they said it was illegal for them to show the pictures on the wall from the hotel. I may get in trouble about this. I don't know. Why am I giving you a random thought? Because that's how I think. I'm kind of ADD or ADHD, whatever you want to call it. The point is, we'll move on past that. That is so stupid. So anyway, hopefully you all have been doing well this week. Hopefully your families are great and everything is going good for you. And then we will just kind of go from there. So, unless there is anyone that's stopping us, I think I'm ready to jump into the topic, y'all. I think this is a topic that we kind of have been approaching over time. And so I want to make sure that we give it a little bit of justice and talk a little bit about it. And I think there's some things for me to actually show you. So hopefully I did things a little right. And if I did, then we'll have the ability to jump at a couple things that I think that you will find interesting. Okay. At least along the way. Okay. So let's get ourselves going. And I am going to jump over and start to have a conversation with you. My volume is low. Okay. I'm going to have to, y'all just give me a second here. Let me do this. Oh boy. All right, so let me do this because this is part of my logic here and why I need to at least be here to make this happen. So give me a second. Sorry that I'm low. Um, your volume's really low in my. Okay, all right. Let me work on that. So just give me just a second before I actually start the whole conversation. Let me work on this, trying to get this thing to connect. So let's try it again. And it's connecting over there. I don't want it over there. I want it over here on my little Mac. So every once in a while I have some technical difficulties, but today I ain't having that. Let's see if that connects. Oh, here we go. Nearby devices. Let's delete this one. Okay. All right, so let's connect to it. I'm just connecting to the device, y'all, so then I can at least be here with this. I don't want to connect that. I want to connect to this. Okay. So let me double check to make sure that all my stuff is where it's supposed to be. I think at this point my level should be better, Denise. You should hear me much different than what you heard me before. So I've actually turned the volume up. So y'all let me know if this is better because I've directly connected, right? Let me do myself a favor and throw some music in my ear. Yeah, yeah, that's loud in my ear. So this should be way better, right? So all right. So problem solved. So let's go ahead and continue because at least Patrick told me we're good to go. Hopefully you're doing well, Patrick. So let's jump into our topic so and then we're good to go on that. So first things first, okay? The hunt for non-traditional scrum roles. I'm going to talk to you about this. We're going to dive into this because this is something that someone wanted to really talk about. First thing is that you need to make sure you understand non-traditional scrum roles. And the reason why I say that to you is because some people just don't quite get what we mean about Scrum really outside of IT. And, today in my class, one of the things that I, talked about with the class is the way that I think about Scrum, right? And when I introduce Scrum to someone, I basically say to them that Scrum is a time box plan that you evaluate daily. You learn about the product, you learn about the process, you incorporate that feedback um, as you go into another sprint. So it is a time box, a plan, time box plan that you evaluate daily. You learn about the product, learn about the process, and you do it again. Hopefully, incorporating that feedback. That's all Scrum really is. If you think about Scrum like I just presented it to you, then you can apply it anywhere. Does that make sense? Did I lose anybody, right? You can apply it anywhere. And that's how I think about it. So I use Scrum for my workout routine. I've used Scrum to remodel my house. I've used Scrum for all kinds of things. I've seen Scrum in different environments, right? And I think you can do the same thing. There's no reason why you cannot. As long as you just kind of pull back a little bit and not be as rigid is what we might see Scrum in IT. You may not want to be as rigid as that. Okay. So something to think about for sure. Okay. Now, for me, when this comes to my mind, I think about two things in particular, right? And one of the things I want to show you is really how you can think about Scrum in terms of marketing because over the years marketing professionals have gotten into the Scrum thing, and one of the things that marketing professionals did is they created their own version of an agile manifesto. Just take a look at this thing, right? To keep up with the speed and complexity of marketing today, we are adopting new ways of working. That's in essence the Agile Manifesto. And then they go focus on customer value and business outcomes over activity and outputs. Deliver value early and often over waiting for perfection. Learning through experiments and data over opinions and conventions. Cross-functional collaboration over silos and hierarchies, and then responding to change over following a static plan. So they have five things here, that are very similar to what you would see in terms of the Agile Manifesto. But these specifically apply in a world of marketing. Okay. Let's see if I click one of these, then it give you a little bit more information about it. But it's a good place to start. And then if you go and dive into the principles, you will see 10 principles here. It's not quite 12, but it's 10 of them, right? And you look at the first one. Great marketing requires close alignment, transparency, and quality interactions with internal and external customers. Seek out different and diverse points of view, right? The last one, strive for simplicity, right? So, look, if I was a marketing professional and I wanted to get involved or utilize Scrum, Agile related to marketing, I would start looking on the internet to see if other people are doing it. There's nothing that prevents any of you all from taking that step. So all I did was just look. Well, I'm familiar with Agile in marketing. I've been familiar with it, right? Have opportunity to do some of this kind of stuff, but it's just a simple search. Especially if you're trying to deal with something that's not traditionally related to IT to some degree. So, am I losing anybody with that? Because it's just simply a search, right? And that's something that you can do, right? Figure out what other people have done. So, and then you're not reinventing the wheel. There's no point in you reinventing the wheel. Okay. Now, we'll take it a little bit further because the body of knowledge doesn't stop there. You got to remember that Agilists have been on Agile for a long time. Agilists have been on Scrum for a long time. So there's no reason for you not to go and grab some knowledge. And here's the key. A lot of people, guess what? They put their information on the internet. They really, really do. Like it's not even a joke. They really do put their information on the internet. And so, you know, I want to go to a person that I know where they've done Scrum and education more than me, definitely more than me. His name is Mike Vizdos, right? And he has this website here where he created a page. And then as you look at this page, Agile in Education, right? Imagine a student walking in the classroom where the lesson plan was something that they helped to craft. You understand the distinction there. This is, and I saw this in action. One of the people that helped to create this was working at Hope High School, and I went there and I had the opportunity to work with them. And Agile in Education has, I won't say it's been solved, but people have been doing it. And so as I look here and you look, you see different things like, look, different websites, an Agile Educator's Guide, right? An Agile Education Compass, right? Scrum in Schools. How does EduScrum work, right? If I click on EduScrum, right? When we go here, this gives you a whole set of ideas on how to deal with EduScrum, right? Scrum, EduScrum, pediological layer, right? How Scrum works, how EduScrum works. All that information is here. And this is, understand what I'm saying to you, seriously. I'm not talking about IT here. I'm talking about utilizing Scrum with students to learn in the classroom. That's what I'm talking about here. So I'm not saying, hey, go to a place that does education and be in the IT department and do Scrum with them, right? I'm saying, look, there are people utilizing Scrum in non-traditional roles, and the question is, you just got to look it up if you have an interest, right? Because your interest isn't what everybody's interest is, and you might, and if that's not the case, if you're If you can't find anything, be the person to lead the charge, man. Lead the charge. You understand where I'm coming from? Lead the charge. Okay? Now, here's a question I'll ask you for you all that's in the room. Some of you all want to actually do Scrum in non-traditional environments, non-traditional roles. Tell me, what industry are you talking about? Tell me, what are some of these non-traditional roles that you're dreaming about? What are you trying to combine into or utilize Scrum on? That's what I'll ask you. If you have an idea about what that is, put it in the comments for me. Put it in the comments for me. Because there's nothing that says to me that you can't find somebody else that may have already been doing it prior to you and has been successful at doing it. Do you understand where I'm coming from? Let me finish looking this up as you see you all put some of those things in the comments, right? And so as I look here, I'm seeing great information. If I go here, there's blogs here, there's different articles, case studies. Look at this, the Agile Manifesto in Higher Education. Oh, let me click that. What is that all about? Hmm. Wow, look at this. Somebody actually did a research paper talking about it, right? Do you understand? The Agile Manifesto in Higher Education, right? So I don't know how you can beat this. This is just resources, it's simply found, right? Spotlights on education, a case study about it, right? All these things are just readily available. There's nothing about this stuff that's not available to you. So you can actually do Scrum. Let's see, the four pillars of Scrum in education, right? Okay, look at that. I mean, I'm just, and here they transition it a little bit, right? Individuals' interactions over processes and tools, meaningful learning over measurement of learning, stakeholder collaboration over constant negotiation, responding to change over following a plan. So they changed two of the items there, the Agile Manifesto. So can this be applied? It absolutely can be applied in the world of work, in the world that each one of us work in, and there's no reason why you can't apply it in a non-traditional way. And I'm just showing this because it just requires you to do just a tad bit of research. Yeah, I'm not trying to get on you. You understand? But a little bit of research will take you a long way, especially in this world with all this information that we have. There's so much information that is available to us, right? Does that make sense, everybody? Am I missing the bar here, right? Talk to me. What's going on? What do you think about Scrum and non-traditional environments? I just showed you two where people are actually doing Scrum and it has nothing to do with IT. And I mean being successful with it. Does that make sense? Or am I just talking out the side of my neck? I'm not. I don't have a side. Uh, Maybe I don't have a neck, but it just is what it is, right? So that doesn't stop some of the strategies that I want to give you. But did I lose anybody here? Do you understand where I'm coming from? Right? I don't see anybody saying anything, so I'm going to make the assumption that you're like, yeah, you're right, man. You're right. Okay? And as long as I'm right, I guess that's all right. I guess that's all right. Okay? Now, let's talk about some of the strategies that you can utilize to actually help you with this whole Scrum, beyond IT, right? And I think these are important, and I'll just kind of spell them out. Big words here. Let's see. The first thing I'm going to say to you is something really simple. That is expand your agile knowledge. Now, this is really important, okay? Um, Here's the deal. I need you to dive deeper into the application of Scrum in a non-traditional context. Like, try something, is my point. So, you want to do Scrum in a non-traditional context? Try it in a non-traditional context, right? There may be programs out there that can actually help you. I know there are a few people that do agile related marketing classes, agile related education classes. you likely can find that, right? And I'm talking about really the application of it on the ground inside of those industries, right? And so just go and attempt to expand your knowledge in that arena. I can't jump and give you, a bunch of people that you can go to, but I know that it's just your fingertips away. I know that, just as far as your fingertips away. So if you do that and just work toward expanding your knowledge, um, and another way to expand your knowledge is just by experimenting. I mean, if you are in this environment, you physically work in an environment that is not an IT environment, what, who says you can't try to apply Scrum in terms of what you do? Does that make sense? So nothing real crazy about it, nothing special. It's just trying something, right? We always love to run experiments in terms of this, right? What's the second thing here that I want to tell you about? I want you to really take a moment and update your resume. I want you to get your resume right, right? You know, if you're in a non-traditional place, at least non-traditional to Scrum, then one of the things that you want to do is emphasize your Scrum skills in that resume and your versatility in applying them across various industries in non-traditional places, right? Do you know how almost every training I have, like today is a perfect example. Had a training today, and you know what? I brought up using Scrum for my workout routine. And people like, I love that. I love that. I absolutely love it. You understand? Have people pull me to the side say, yeah, I didn't think about that, right? But they hear about the experience because it's what I do. You understand? It really is what I do. And so there's no reason why when you start thinking about this and start applying it in different areas and non-traditional areas, that becomes good resume information because you can talk about your results at that point. Okay? Your results become extremely critical in this environment, right? So it's really, really important for you to do that. Now, let's move on to the next item here. And the next item is going to be to network widely. You know, I, we always said network, but I have to say network widely in particular here, because what I need you to do is I need you to stop trying to find a job in any non-traditional find a scrum role in any non-traditional place. Stop doing that. In today's world, you got to focus. You have to hyper focus and connect with people from diverse fields that you are interested in. You got to think to yourself, hey, is there a conference? Is there a seminar? Is there a webinar where I can literally connect to these people? That's what you're going to have to do. And so it's not one of those things where you got to think to yourself, I need to go super deep down a particular area. But you need to go over here to this place where marketing's at and try to get to know people in that arena that may be doing some of this Scrum stuff so you can put your name in the hat, right? Um, when you network widely with people, you can understand some of the ways that they're applying their practices within these non-traditional environments. That can actually be extremely helpful for you. So just start to think to yourself, I want to network widely, but I want that to be a focus on wherever I'm interested in going. Does that make sense? Your interest shouldn't be any option, right? Any option on the planet, right? So if you do that, is going to be extremely helpful for you, right? Okay, so we don't stop there. We got a few more here to go. Next, do a strategic job hunt. Um, and when I say strategic, your job hunt is completely up to you. Like legitimately, if I'm you, I'm thinking to myself, okay, I'm gonna go look up, I don't know, I'm gonna go and jump on Indeed, right? I'm gonna jump on Indeed and I'm gonna look up whatever I'm gonna look up on Indeed, right? So Indeed jobs, I'm just jumping on my computer over here, right? On this iPad, right? And I'm saying to myself, what if I was to go to Indeed, Monster, whatever? It doesn't matter. I just pick something, right? What if I go here And then I say to myself, let me look up, let's see, Scrum Marketing Manager, right? Let's Scrum Marketing, and let me go ahead and show you what I'm doing here, right? Whatever. And again, I didn't test this out, so I'm just kind of doing this on the fly. Scrum Marketing Manager, right? Okay, this is interesting, right? Because now I'm coming up with different things where people that's showing up for those keywords. If I click on here, let me see if it gives me any information. It don't give me a whole lot of information here. But I would guarantee you, even though this is on my iPad, there's probably something in here related to marketing, right? I can't guarantee that. But marketing operations project manager, they got, and these, this is a senior project. This is a, let's see, agile project manager, right? So this is crazy. That's some stuff, but it's not perfect, right? And so what if I just go ahead and get rid of manager and deal with Scrum marketing? What am I just going to come up with? I don't know. Let's see. I don't want to apply for a job. I want to open this. I've Indeed wants me to go download an app, right? Okay. So oh, look at that. Do you see this? Now, marketing Scrum Master, right? You understand? I have no clue. Um, Marketing operations department. Yeah, man. Let's see. Supports marketing ability to deliver on brand, on budget. Da 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 da. Come on, y'all. Come on, y'all. Tell me that's not dope. I mean, for real. Tell me that's not dope. Now, understand, I did not pre-do this, right? I'm doing this on the fly, right? Um, and I just found specifically a Scrum marketing position for Scrum Master. So, what are you talking about? You can't find non-traditional roles. Yes, you can. Are you really looking? Is the question. You feel what I'm saying? Am- Y'all, tell me if I'm wrong. Tell me what am I doing wrong here? Tell me what I'm doing wrong. Because at the end of the day, it's out there and it's available to you. I don't understand. So, my statement to you is this: are you hungry enough to go get it? Like, for real. Are you hungry enough to go get it? Is my question. Because I tend to get what I want because I'm hungry enough to go get it. I don't stop until I get it. So you need to take charge of your career and take your career wherever it's going to go, wherever you decide to go with your career. It's your career. You understand? If you don't take charge of your career, who will? Who will? You understand? I don't understand, right? Because this stuff is at your fingertips, man. It's not like back in the day when we had to go hock our resume to a paper resume to all these people. That didn't take me nothing but a few a minute to find a position like that. You understand? And if I was to focus on it, I probably could find a lot more. Do you understand? So you got to make sure that your job search is really strategic, using the right kind of keywords, making sure that you are finding something that you really desire across any of these platforms. I only grabbed Indeed. Man, I haven't been on Indeed in 10, 15 years. But they got a position there that some of you all may decide that you won't, right? Um, that's pretty cool, man. That's actually pretty cool. All right. So then that's not what we stop at, right? Because I think I got like one or two more things to talk to you about. Um, so then the next thing I'm gonna say to you is really very simple. Okay. Make sure that you find ways to demonstrate your soft skills. Probably, more important than anything else is going to be your soft skills, your leadership capabilities, right? Your ability to negotiate, right? your change management skills, right? These things are going to be critical because you have to get a new Scrum team to move in some direction. And likely, if they are hiring, they have a challenge and they're trying to make a change, right? So you can be the catalyst for that change. You really can be the catalyst for that change. So you go ahead, you go make it happen, man. There's no reason. And all you folks as Bearded Eagle alumni, you ain't got no excuse because you know how we supposed to go hard. You understand? You know how we supposed to go hard. Supposed to go hard. You understand? Anyway, that's a side note. So make sure you demonstrate them soft skills, right? And then, I think last but not least, showcase your success, man. If you ain't got no success at all, I get it. There may be some things that you can translate into success, right? If, you may have done some things in the past that can demonstrate your success. If you haven't, then you probably can't do this. But you can find ways with soft skills. And even though it wasn't exactly Scrum, kind of twist that so and then people understand you still got the skill, even though it wasn't specifically in a Scrumish environment. So if you do that, I think that will be helpful for you to actually make sure you showcase your skills. Do y'all understand? I mean, so let me go back to the top here and I want to repeat these things to you so we're real clear, okay? Just to repeat. And here's my question for you, right? Of these 6 things that I'm going to repeat to you right now, which is the next one you're going to try within the next 24 to 48 hours? Right? I want you to type that in the comments. Just the top one. Type it in the comments. Which one of these things are you going to legitimately try in the next 24 to 48 hours? Don't lie to me, right? If you ain't going to do it, man, then don't put nothing in the comments. You know? I'm just saying. I'm not trying to be rude. I'm just trying to make sure you hold yourself accountable. Now, let me repeat these so you understand. Expand your agile knowledge. We talked about that, right? The next thing on the list was refine your resume. Your resume needs to look the way it needs to, right? Network widely. There's some areas that you probably need to go into to be able to go a little bit deep. Make sure you do a strategic job search. Okay. It should be quite focused. Should be quite focused, right? And then find ways to demonstrate your soft skills, right? Because it's more than just agile. People expect you to have certain skill sets. And then find ways to showcase your skills as best you can. Okay? That's it for tonight, y'all. I think that gives you enough to think about. But I do want to say a couple things to you in terms of logistics. Next week, we don't have a show. Okay? I won't be in a place where I will have reliable internet. So I can't operate or have the show next week, but we will have the show on the 22nd. So we will have the show on the 22nd. And the show on the 22nd will be about Fusion Teams Unleashed, the power of collaboration. The power of collaboration, right? That's what we're going to talk about on the 22nd. Okay. So now, as we normally would do, I want to go ahead and open the floor for any questions that you may have, right? People may not have any questions tonight, but I'm opening the floor for any questions you may have. It could be about the topic that we just been talking about, or it could be about something else. Do me a favor, make sure you say hi so then I can give you a shout out. If you like the content, do me a favor, like the video, right? Subscribe if you haven't subscribed, right? So do those kind of things for us, right? Other than that, what kind of questions do you all have, right? Let me take a look at who's in the room, right? Nakisha, how you doing? How's life treating you? CT, what's going on, brother? Denise, how are you? Patrick, my mellow, my man, how you doing, brother? Let's see. I got D. How you doing, D? How's it going? What's going on, Rajiv? How are you? Okay. We got a few more people in here that's not saying nothing, and that's okay. So, questions, any questions that you have, you're welcome to drop them in the comments, or, you can come on the show if you really want to, right? So, my first question here is with cost of change in regards to agile methodologies, What are some ways one could showcase past success as they enter into being a CSM for the first time? Um, this is what I would say to you. When you have when you think about the STAR method, when you think about your resume, make sure that you show results because your past success should have ended up being some results associated with that. So understand, an organization that's doing Scrum, that's no cost to you, right? They're going to have a cost because they're going to train and everything else. Their cost for you is in you being brand new. Organizations that are willing to train newer people tend to be okay with that particular cost. I would say to you, though, think about going to larger companies. Larger companies tend to have the budget to be able to work with newer people, right? And so with me, I would be focusing on larger companies and I'd be focusing on results. You know, I don't say this in most of my classes, but I have been able to turn a $6 million investment into $40 million worth of return on investment. That's a result in 3 months. That's a result. Do you think if I'm going to have something on my resume, that's not going to go on it? It probably will. You know, it used to be on my resume all the time when I had an internship with Disney. I make sure that thing was mentioned. It was so hard for me to take that thing off there, right? Because whenever whenever anybody brought up Disney in that conversation because they knew I've been there, I knew I had the job. I knew I had a job at that point because everybody loved Disney, right? And so, to me, you showcase it in your results. That's what you do. Even when you're doing a STAR method, the R at the end is about results. You showcase what you've done in your results. And if you can do that with your resume, in your interviews, you have a higher likelihood of being successful, having the right outcomes you want to have. Does that make sense, CT? Hopefully that helps a tad bit. But, in terms of cost of change for an organization, yeah, there is cost to change, but they're normally willing to take that on for newer people. And most organizations realize that most of the time, people in general is going to cost them to some degree. That you can't help them. Yeah, they at least you got to pay them, and then there's benefits and everything else. Um, and then if they're deciding to make this change, their investment in you is really, 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 really important. And so you got to work that and just got to work the system. That's really it. Um, you know, I know when I was newer in the game, people were willing to take a risk on me because they seen I had success. But again, my success was in the things that I was already completing, and so, you use that to help you get yourself a leg up. So that's really good. So, okay, great. I'm glad that helped you out. Seriously. Okay, so team leadership is an example of success that is related to Agile. I would agree with that. If you can showcase leading a team to a successful outcome in a specified time, that's related to Agile. I agree with that, right? And I don't know anybody who hasn't done that, right? Been able to get a group of people to some destination by a particular time. Okay, you just got to think about it a little bit differently. You got to find ways to show people your experience, even though it wasn't directly Scrum, right? Because a lot of the things that we do is similar across efforts, right? So something to think about for sure, right? So other questions, everybody. What other questions do you all have? It's a little hot in here, so I'm still going to be talking to you, but I'm going to go ahead and go deal with my air conditioning here, so then I don't have a horrible time. So yeah. So what other questions do you all have? Let me know. You might hear a little bit of noise in the background. If you do, that's me trying to get cool, right? Hotels are what it is, right? And I'm in a hotel right now. But I get on. As long as they got internet, we're good, right? Um, so other questions that you all have. Make sure I didn't miss anything. I said hi to everybody in terms of our shout outs. Yeah, you are very welcome, CT. So nothing but pluses, right? So let me see. Has any of you all heard of a fusion team? We're going to talk about that topic. I think that's going to be an interesting one, right? I think it's going to be an interesting one. I've had some things I've learned, right? And I'm going to make sure I tell them to you all so you all are quite aware as well. Okay. So let's see. What kind of questions do you all have? Drop them in the comments. Let's see. What else is going on? Let's see. Let's see. What other questions? Let me double check. I was gonna say it's about to be a quiet one, right? And I was gonna say that's okay. I recently had a friend of mine share with me the importance of being able to tell the difference between a company that does use agile methodologies and a company that does not use it. I'm gonna be honest with you, CT, and I'm gonna be really, even though they advertise in their job description, any tips, man, let me tell you something, CT, okay? Listen to me and listen to me close. If they say they do agile in a job description and you have not had a job in agile, take the job. If they're paying you the money, it's not messing with your family, take the job. I don't care that they don't say that they are not perfect at agile. There's not a single organization that's perfect at agile. And their description likely gonna be lying about something or making them look a little bit better than what they look in reality. Those are realities, right? The thing that you want to do is get your foot in the door. I don't care how stanking your foot is, you want to get your foot in the door, man. And if you get your foot in the door of a place that say they do agile, now you got witnesses that say, hey, yeah, he was doing agile. Even though they may all think they're doing agile and it looks really waterfall, but they may think they're really doing agile. But guess what they can be for you? Recommendations, right? So I'd rather for you to get an agile at a job at a place that's barely doing Scrum and Agile because I think it'd be easier for you to find one after that, right? Because you have some experience under your belt. Okay. So I wouldn't be surprised about a job rec where it doesn't talk perfectly at this agile thing. And even though they may say it, I wouldn't be as worried about that. What I would be worried about is finding a gig in a space that I love and then finding that gig and thinking to myself, I'm leaving here in 6 months. So let me spend this 6 months preparing to leave. That may sound crazy. It may sound crazy, completely crazy, but it's not crazy. I'd rather for you to have the opportunity and enjoy the opportunity. The one thing you'll learn is you'll learn what you don't want to run into. Minimum, minimum. So for me, beggars can't be choosy. Choose to go, right, and have that experience, right. Um, there's no, yeah, there's just no. I mean, when you think about, it, I mean, everybody in here I would definitely agree with me. There's not a single organization that does this thing perfectly, and they all say they're doing agile, right? Um, yeah, and Patrick said it perfectly. Once you get in there, you'll find out. I was um I was writing a discussion post for this dang on PhD, and we were talking about situational factors and dispositional factors. Like dispositional is kind of like internal, situational is kind of like external factors. Um, and here's the deal, right? I went to an organization that presented to me that they was really doing Scrum and really wanted to get a lot of help, and I got fired. I got fired because they were not what they said they were at all. And it was very frustrating for me. As a younger Scrum Master, I didn't take that very well. Um, and I ended up getting walked out the door. It is what it is, right? But the idea of what they presented to me wasn't even close to what they were actually doing. It was a full bamboozlement. I don't know if bamboozlement is a word, but it was a full bamboozlement. And it wasn't me bamboozling, it was them bamboozling me. So be a little, so these kind of things do happen. Be careful about sticking your chest out. Seriously, right? Um, Let's see. You will have to learn from the company. Yeah, you have to learn the company's way of doing agile, and they will all do it a little bit differently. So I agree with Miss Hancock there, right? Let's see. Some companies actually believe that they're agile up in their transformations, but a deep dive, they're not. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So it is what it is, right? You can't, you can't, you can't get around it. Okay. Um, Look, man, y'all can't be having secret African conversations in here, man. Yes, you can. You can do that, right? I love it. But at least tell me what it means, brother. Come on now. You know. All right, y'all. So, what other questions do you have? Any other questions that anybody have? Right? Any other questions? I love y'all. Y'all be tripping me out. Like seriously. Like you really do make this a good part of my day. Like I just be like, oh, look at them, they acting up. But you know what though? I love it. I love it. I love it because I see a lot of myself in you guys. You know, people that's enthused about doing this. People that really want to do this the right way. People really want to have an impact on other people. That's a really nice thing to see. And I love seeing it. Right? Just reminds me of things. Right? So, other questions. Because there's no more questions, we probably will shut it down. But I'm double checking. Let me look through and make sure I didn't miss anybody. So, as you all know, this is what we do every Monday, and we go until we don't have any questions or for an hour, and then we go from there. So, I'm gonna say we're probably gonna go ahead and shut it down for the day. I don't see any more questions coming. So, that being said, look, I really appreciate y'all. I'm gonna see you in a couple weeks though, right? So next week, no go. Week after that, the 22nd, yeah, we'll be back together. And we're gonna talk about, as I told you before, Fusion Teams Unleashed. I think that's gonna be a good, healthy topic for a lot of you all. So I look forward to seeing you then. But other than that, I want to say, hey, I appreciate your time. Um, Look, enjoy your week. Be good on the agile journey, and enjoy the rest of your night. Enjoy the rest of your week. I will see you soon. Peace, everybody. Thank you. Bye bye.